On Central Steam today, it's a day of celebrations as old railway friends are reunited.
How are you doing?
Oh, better to see you.
Hey.
And romance comes to the Great Central Heritage Railway with a steam wedding. But there's a drama behind the scenes.
Can we not douse it with water or something like that? Have we got any watering cans?
The Great Central Heritage Railway is run by 40 staff and 700 volunteers. Every weekend throughout the year, vintage engines pull trains along the 8 miles between Loughborough and Leicester North stations. While the restored locos whisk passengers through the countryside, the engine sheds are full of more mighty steam machines that are being restored back to full working order. A painstaking process, often taking many years of work. As well as regular passenger services at weekends, the railway plays host to specially chartered trips for parties and weddings. Joe and Martin are both steam fans and are planning to have their wedding reception on a steam train at the Great Central Railway.
Where are you? Turning left. You know, the road sort of goes along and you turn left off the road.
It's the day before the wedding and the family are all helping with the last-minute preparations.
Well, we've always been quite keen on the railway. My dad's a big friend of the Great Central Railway. He's a member of their sort of organisation, and we've been up quite a few times. I go up with Twycross Zoo, with where I work, with our creepy creatures for Halloween. You love pretty much anything.
I'm with the Classic Motorcycle Club, and we do quite a few runs to the Great Central Railway, and there's quite a few of our members that are involved with the railway.
You look anything with an engine, really.
Anything old with an engine, basically, yeah. The weekend after I proposed, we were whisked around all over the place to look at venues, and it wasn't until we came across the Great Central, they took us out one afternoon just for a short ride, and they said, oh well, they do a buffet car and they do receptions and all sorts. So that's brilliant.
Perfect.
It's clearly a popular choice of venue for the whole family, especially with the father of the bride.
I always was involved with steam trains. I always liked them. And on my 50th birthday, my wife gave me a birthday present, a meal on the Great Central Railway. And since then, I've been a member there. And I just go there whenever I can. And just hopefully, in about 3 years' time, when I retire, I shall be working in the engine shed and do some work there. And I absolutely enjoy the steam engine. I'm an engineer myself, and I just like the workmanship in there. It's beautiful.
As soon as they've got anything big on, they're always down there. But he also, of course, has the obligatory model railway in his garage with all the little engines, which he has been building for probably about the last 25, 30 years, and it's still not finished.
It's one of those projects that will never be finished. You just add to and add to and add to and add to.
But he's got all the little miniature ones of the proper traditional old steam engines. He's got not a single diesel train on the entirety of the board, so there's no way we could get married on anything other than a steam train.
The Great Central Railway was the brainchild of Edward Watkin. It opened in 1899 and was the last mainline railway of the Victorian era. Famous for its slogan, "Rapid Travel in Luxury," it provided a new fast route between Nottingham, Leicester and London's Marylebone Station. In the years up to the outbreak of the First World War, the railways flourished, but the post-war years brought an increase in other modes of transport. And by the 1950s, some railway lines began to close. In 1963, the government's beaching report announced that thousands of miles of railway and stations were to be shut down. The hundreds of volunteers at the Heritage Railway are continuing the legacy of the men and women who back in 1969 formed a group to help preserve the engines and to restore part of the main line. At Loughborough, staff and volunteers dress in 1950s period uniform, and at the stations along the line to Leicester North, different eras are kept alive to take passengers back to the magical age of steam. Rothley Station has been restored to recreate the Edwardian era. And Quorn Station is restored in the 1940s style with a World War II theme. At Loughborough Station, the day of the wedding has arrived. Volunteer Alan Whiteland is today's duty traffic manager, and he's the man with the responsibility of making sure everything runs to plan.
A special day today. The wedding party will be arriving very shortly. We're taking them down onto the train. They'll be taking their seats and then they'll steam through the countryside and have their wedding reception actually on board a steam train.
At last, the bride and groom, Joe and Martin, arrive.
Both a bit nervous, I think, when we got to the church. It actually kicked in this morning when I got out of bed that I was actually getting married.
No, I did.
You were a bit jittery, weren't you?
Yeah, I had a bit of a stress. The Vic was sort of going down 3 deep breaths. I'm sort of going, and I was like, oh my God. My knees were going so badly when I was walking down the aisle. I thought I'm going to fall over. Now we're sort of here at the train. Now the fun bit starts. We've done sort of the more serious bit.
Yeah.
We now get to have fun. You now get to go and play on the train.
Play on the train. Yeah. Hopefully they'll let us on the footplate to have a few photos taken. So.
Yeah, I'm not shoveling coal.
No, you don't have to go on. Me and the best man.
I'm going to take a couple with that and then I'll miss dinner, right?
Chelsea. Can you get everybody in? Everybody smile!
We've got to actually look through them.
But a few steps away in the station master's office, Alan is not quite as relaxed as he could be.
The caution is in place in the vicinity of Birstall Golf Club until further notice. OK. Bye-bye.
With a report of a fire near the railway track, the wedding train might be held up.
Well, we've had a report that there is a line-side fire. It turns out the fire isn't actually on railway land, it's just at a footpath adjacent to where the railway is. But of course, the fire service may need to be on the track, so what we need to do is inform the signaller down the line, who then advises the driver to run at caution, because obviously the last thing we want him to do is come flying around a bend and there to be, fire crew everywhere and hoses across the line and what have you. People might think that we're playing at trains, but the basic reality is, I'm a volunteer, obviously, as everybody else is, most of the people that you see. But we're still professionals, we still have to abide by rules and regulations, and we're looking after passenger safety. And that is very prescriptive how we have to go about that. So before you can do a job, you have to be thoroughly trained and examined. And to do a role like the role I'm doing today, the duty traffic manager's role, you have to have quite a few years' experience really to understand all the different connotations of what to do when things go wrong.
The wedding train is due in at the station any minute, and the guests are unaware that there's a problem behind the scenes.
Hey Bruce, how you doing? Right, it started in the same place as the previous fires, has it?
While the couple are celebrating, Alan is doing his best to sort the problem out.
Can we not douse it with water or something like that? Have we got any watering cans? No, it's difficult to get to, is it? Yeah. Okay. All right, well, thanks for letting us know. We'll just bring the Bobby back at Rothley now because, yeah, but I'll need to give him the ability to remove the caution, so I'll do that now. Okay. Hello, Loughborough Central. Okay, all men are clear of the line now, are they? Thank you very much.
Alan gets the all clear, the fire is out, and the track is safe for the wedding train to arrive.
Restored everything back to normal, which is pretty good news actually, because we have the wedding party. We're train due in about 10 minutes from now. No, a few minutes from now. So when that train comes in, obviously it's ready for the wedding party to board onto it. And I'm quite pleased really that we've got everything running back to normal, because when you've got special people, it's a special day for them. We don't really want to have anything that's going to get in their way and spoil it for them.
Coming up, 40 years after the start of the Heritage Railway, some of the early volunteers return for an anniversary gathering. And James the chef is cooking up a feast for the wedding party.
Jeffy, take that sauce off the gas.
Steam engine fans Martin and Joe have just got married and are celebrating their wedding at the Great Central Railway. Their special train, the Wedding Belle, has arrived. It's being pulled by the Fairburn tank engine that's visiting from the Lakeside and Haverthwaite Railway. Chef James McIntosh and Chief Steward JJ are responsible for cooking and serving the wedding breakfast. They've been working together for 13 years and will make sure everything is just perfect for the happy couple.
Well, today we have a wedding for 68 customers, departing just after 3 o'clock, and then we're running into an evening service around about 7:30, so it's a very quick turnaround. A lot of work for a very small kitchen, but I'm sure everyone will enjoy their day. We started about 9 o'clock this morning. Sometimes it's earlier, but because the wedding's a bit later, we decided to start just a little bit later. We got this evening's preparation done first thing in the morning, and then we concentrated on the wedding right after that. We have 12 girls, a couple of lads that work as stewards and stewardesses. There's 3 of us in the kitchen at all time, and I sort of move around from train to train, and I sort of manage the whole situation as well.
I've worked here for 6 years now. It's a really good job. You get to meet loads of different people. I've been a waitress on here for about 5 years, and now I can work on the bar as well and in the kitchen. So I've got an experience of all the different jobs that you can do on the train. The food is really nice. Obviously, in my opinion, I like it. It's quite traditional, I would say, quite traditional English food. But if you like that, then I think it's good, and I think it's in keeping with the 1960s theme and the steam engines.
With a hectic schedule and something as important as a wedding, the team have to keep a cool head at all times.
I've got 12 years of experience, and John's got 30 years of experience.
33 years.
33 years. So I think we know what we're doing, but obviously you get a little bit, it's not nerves, just tension. As long as you carry it out, you'll be okay.
While James and the team are keeping calm in the kitchen, the wedding party board their train.
3:25 departure, the Wedding Belle special for Martin and Joanna. This train is now ready to depart from platform 2.
Journeys like this wouldn't be possible without the work of the engineers who restore not only the engines, but the old carriages too. The railway carriage was developed originally from the design of the stagecoach, with luggage transported on the roof. In the late 19th century, carriages became more comfortable, with 6-wheeled coaches, heating provided by steam from the engine, and lighting provided by oil lamps. By 1900, bogie coaches arrived, the basic design of coach we know today. Gas lighting replaced oil, and then that too was replaced by electric lighting. These carriages had improved suspension to allow a smoother ride. The coach body was originally wooden framed and panelled with wood. In the carriage and wagon sheds at Rothley Station on the Great Central Line, carpenters Robert Parker and Phil Bradley are working on the restoration of a carriage.
Well, we're just lining it with another sheet all the way down, and then it'll be papered all over the top. It takes us a long while because we only come in weekends and one day in a week.
We're all carpenters, and we do it for a hobby more than anything, and get some of the old vehicles back on the rails again.
We salvage parts and rebuild them, you know, for the job. All the window frames have all been taken and re-chromed and refitted. They're saying it takes us about another 2 years to finish this one. It had been burnt out, all the end was destroyed, you know, so it was a big job from the start.
We've got to keep the old things going, and it's interesting, and you know, we enjoy what we're doing.
On the Wedding Belle, the mother of the bride seems to be enjoying herself.
absolutely wonderful and very different. So many people have come up to me and said, you know, what a wonderful wedding. You know, we've never been to anything like it. And it was such a good idea, you know, it just came from a little idea when we saw another bride getting onto a train that we should do this, and everyone thinks it's great. So, and the weather's helped, of course, so it's been lovely, really, really nice.
Much better than I thought it would be. It's absolutely superb. And you couldn't fault it. You had a fantastic time.
Absolutely fantastic.
I lost you, didn't
She
I?
did lose me for a while.
Disappeared off on the footplate, and the next thing I know, they were disappearing off, and we were going to the next station without them. They disappeared, abandoned after 3.5 hours.
Well, you know, there's some things you have to go on, don't you?
Wow, I think it's made sort of like great day even better, really, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So many people have come up and said how great it is. We've had one girl who actually went to her wedding a few years ago, and she says she wants to do it again so she can come and do it here. So it's been great.
With the wedding party happy and full of food, all that's left is the washing up. As well as the wedding bell, the railway continues to run other passenger services. Pete Buckley and Alan Binder are the crew on one of the other locos working today, number 63601, the Great Central 04.
Yeah, we don't work every shift together. No.
Depending on availability. But
put our names in the diary, and they look 5-6 weeks ahead, and they mark us up, whoever's in the diary on these days.
Volunteers can be qualified in different roles. A steam engine driver may also do shifts as a fireman or a guard if that's been part of his training. Alan has recovered from the drama of the reported fire earlier on and is wondering if it's time to go home.
It's been a hectic day, the wedding went fine. Hopefully they enjoyed their afternoon, and we're just preparing now for the special train that we've got tonight to mark the 40th anniversary. But I'm not quite sure whether I'll be around. I'm going to find somewhere that serves beer, I think.
With the wedding couple on their way, the chief steward JJ can at last take off his tie and go off duty. After 33 years, JJ's a man who loves what he does.
I do enjoy my job because it enables me to live in the past. Because this is what I used to do in British Rail days, Western region, on the Cornish Riviera Express. In those days, we did silver service. Today, we do a family service because of the time limit we have on the train.
But the day isn't over for the Great Central Railway. On Platform 1, there's an anniversary being celebrated on the evening dining train.
We're celebrating 15 years a wedding anniversary with my wife, and planned a special evening with my wife and close friends, and enjoying a first-class dining experience.
And there's another anniversary happening tonight. A special get-together of railway volunteers, old and new.
Oh, better to see you. Hey.
This is the 40th anniversary year of the Great Central, and it's an opportunity to share memories of years gone by, as David Kemp remembers.
I started coming over most Saturdays in the early 70s and helped dig trenches for the water supply, erect the engine shed, working on locos, bit of everything, and met a lot of people and made a lot of friends, and it was a fantastic time.
I wasn't exactly in at the very, very beginning, which was 1969, but early 70s, I was part of the group that took over the restoration of Quorn Station.
Some of us have been coming here almost that long, Yes. And some of us still do, and we're all sort of...
Some have got too old and decrepit.
Renew old friendship. You said it, not me, mate.
Well, we used to work together.
Worked in the cooking, all those
yes.
things.
Yeah.
And now I've been married nearly 25 years.
To the railway?
No, to each other.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that it's that long. It
But
doesn't
you
feel like it.
I used to come down with Reg here on a Wednesday night and doing odd restoration bits, window frames, that sort of thing, and even putting a floor in the Black 5.
For many of the volunteers, the railway is not so much a hobby as a burning passion.
Well, let's put it like this. We actually came down on a honeymoon night to watch it change, didn't we? Yeah.
We actually got married on the Sunday, and a loco, the Black 5231, that was operating for the first time. And my best man, he was in charge of the loco shed at the time, and he remained back with the wedding party at Newark, and we came over here to see it. So
when I first met him, we got engaged, and he brought me down here on the lunch train on the Sunday to meet his friends and the people he worked with. We got on that train, we had our lunch. It took us 2 goes. Everybody else took 1 go, and we ended up doing tea, serving tea, and clearing it away. And that was a sort of introduction to the railway and its friends. You have to be interested. You can't, otherwise you never see them.
Next time on Central Steam, pop mogul Pete Waterman visits the Great Central.
Everybody knows I'm nuts about railways.
And it's the October Steam Gala. 4,000 visitors arrive over a weekend of steam to see some mighty machines, including one of the last steam engines to be built in 1959, 9F Black Prince.